Interior, a child's playroom, day. Allison, 56, stoops on the floor. There is a large box in front of her. She picks up a doll from the floor and holds it up. Allison stands up and looks around the room. She walks over to a shelf and picks up a framed photo. Allison walks over to a desk. Carl, 58, walks into the bedroom doorway. He pauses and watches Allison.
You cold?
No. Why?
It's a blanket, not a shawl.
More than a blanket. It's a memory.
Everything here is a memory.
And changes. Do you remember this room when we first set it up?
Sure. Pink curtains and flowery wallpaper. Remember that carpet with unicorns so she could crawl around?
She outgrew that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Seems like only yesterday she was just crawling around in here.
And walking. And running.
Oh,
Now gone.
she will always be our daughter.
It'll never be the same.
It's not supposed to. It's supposed to change.
Can't we just freeze it? Keep it from changing?
If we could, it's too late now.
He walks over to the window and leans on the windowsill.
Feels like only yesterday she was learning to walk. Now she's left us.
We knew this was coming. We were preparing for this.
I know. I thought if I came in here and packed everything in boxes, I could deal with it. But if I pick up one more thing, I'll cry.
There are a lot of other things that we could take care of. This doesn't have to be done today.
Then when? Putting it off won't make it any easier.
The rest of our lives don't have to be hard. It's time for us to take care of ourselves, and we can start today.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that. It's not who I am. Most of my life, I've identified with being a mother. Thought so little about my needs that I don't even know what they are. Today is not the day.
If not today, then when?
I don't know. The loss is too great. I don't want. I can't move on.
Your relationship with her was slightly different than mine. She was more like a daughter. She was more than a daughter, actually. You guys were like best friends.
We were like girlfriends. We had such great talks. God, I'm gonna miss those talks.
Maybe we should leave this room alone.
No, no, I need to accept the change.
Maybe this will help.
What is it?
A thank you card.
Mom, Dad, I know things have been crazy and we haven't had much time to spend together, but I wanted you to know how much I've appreciated everything you have done for me. You have been great parents. I love you. No matter what the future will bring, that will never change. Carly. Where'd you find this?
In her college papers. Remember? That was a big moment for us also. She went away, but it didn't change our family. Her love didn't diminish.
I know, but that was college. Just 4 years. It wasn't permanent. This is different. I don't understand how it's so much easier for you.
It's not easier, but I have to accept what has already happened.
I think it's easier because you always pushed her away.
What's that supposed to mean?
It was your decision to name her Carly. You wanted a son. I wanted Elizabeth.
That's her middle name. You never objected to naming her Carly.
I was never given the choice. You gave it to the nurse while I was sleeping. I didn't know I had a Carly until they brought her back the next morning.
But we discussed it. No, you're changing the subject. How can you say I pushed her away?
Going off to college was your idea too.
What's wrong with her going to college?
She didn't have to go away. She could have gone right here in town.
To a community college? The education she got was the best thing for her.
Yeah, and we're still paying for it.
Still, I didn't push her away. It was what she wanted. Saying I pushed her away is like saying I never loved her.
I know you loved her, but you would have loved a boy more.
That's ridiculous.
You pushed her into sports, and then you insisted that she take that damn sports scholarship and send her away. We lost so much time with her.
It wasn't lost time. We raised an intelligent, independent woman. I have no regrets for the person she became. I loved every second that I was with her.
I know. Carl, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to blame someone. I shouldn't.
Let's deal with this room later. We have other things to take care of. We need to get dressed.
You're right. It's always so hard for me to accept change. I should look at this differently.
Yes, you should. Most families celebrate these moments.
I know. After all, like they say, we're not losing a daughter, we're gaining a son-in-law.
Absolutely. And soon with time, we'll be gaining grandchildren. And this can be their room.
Yes, you're right. This will be a place for them. There will be new playthings here, new memories.
And new conversations. You'll never lose your best friend. She will always need you.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why I got in this mood. It's going to be a happy day for all of us.
As it should. Let's get dressed and get over to church, huh?
Carl hugs Allison.
Mm. What?
Why are you eating those?
The peanut butter. You know I love peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
So does Bosco.
Bosco can get his own.
Those are his own. You're eating a dog treat.
What?
How are they?
Actually, they're quite good.
I'm going to get dressed.
Good, hurry up. If we have time, I want to pick up a few more of these before the wedding. You want one?
I'll pass.
Carl wraps his arm around Allison's shoulder and they walk out of the playroom. Carl pauses, looks back into the room, then closes the door.
Oh, well done, well done. Oh,
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
At Rise, a haunted house at night. A dimly lit house stands alone in the darkness. A ghostly figure appears, floating through the air.
I'm a ghost. I need to find someone to scare, but I'm afraid of everything.
He searches the house, looking for someone to frighten, but finds himself jumping at every creak and groan.
I'm so jumpy. I'm scaring myself.
He floats past the parents' room, afraid they will only laugh at him. So he dismisses them as targets and enters Daisy's room instead.
Come on. It's just a little girl. She'll be easy to scare. Remember what you learned in ghost school.
The ghost closes his eyes, recalling a memory. Flashback. The ghost as teacher, Mr. Scarewell, stand before a classroom filled with empty seats.
To answer your question, ghosts scare people for one very good reason: to help us forget our own fears.
Suddenly, as if on cue, and without warning, flames of fire erupt inside the classroom with a terrifying roar. The ghost is surrounded as the flames consume everything in sight. He howls with fright and drops to the ground in terror. Mr. Scarewell stands over him, enjoying his fear and laughing aloud with glee.
Surprise! You see, I feel better already.
Flashback ends. The ghost opens his eyes, determined to pass his fears on to Daisy, sleeping peacefully in her bed. He jumps into her dreams and spins them into a nightmare.
Little girl.
Daisy tosses and turns as she tries to resist the fright images pressing in on her.
Little girl. Little girl. Behold, I'm your greatest fear.
The ghost hovers closer, looming over Daisy threateningly, but jumps back suddenly when Daisy unexpectedly wakes up to face him.
Oh,
My name is Daisy, not little girl.
I said, little girl, I'm your greatest fear.
I said my name is Daisy. I am not your little girl.
The ghost rolls his eyes.
Hairs.
My mommy and daddy do. They love me.
They what?
Mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy.
Daisy's parents jump out of bed to answer a call, appear quickly in the doorway. Daddy searches the room with a flashlight and knowingly casts the shadow of the ghost on the bedroom wall. The ghost jumps with fright when he sees it and stumbles backward, trembling and searching frantically for a way of escape.
You're scared, Mr. Ghost?
The ghost catches sight of the bedroom window and edges towards it, afraid to be caught in the beam of the flashlight.
I saw something terrifying. I saw a monster.
The ghost flies out the window, screaming as he leaves.
What's wrong, Daisy?
That ghost called me little girl. I didn't like it.
What ghost?
The ghost who was here.
Well, I don't see a ghost. Do you?
He just left.
Oh, I see.
He was scared.
What?
His own shadow.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's anything to be afraid of then, does it?
That's right, Daisy. You're our little girl, and we love you very much.
That's exactly what I told the old ghost. I'm your little girl, not his.
Yes, sweetie. You are our little girl. By the way, do you know that a ghost's favorite game is hide and shriek?
Daddy lifts the bed cover and plays peekaboo with Daisy, making her laugh.
Hey, come on in on the fun.
Mommy copies Daddy, and they all laugh together. Their antics continue until Daisy grows tired and yawns. Mommy and Daddy tuck her into bed.
Good night to our beautiful little girl.
Good night, Daisy.
Mommy and Daddy kiss Daisy goodnight, turn off the lights, and head back to sleep.
Good night, Mommy and Daddy. I wonder if that ghost has a nice Mommy and Daddy to tuck him in, too.
With a contented sigh, Daisy closes her eyes and peacefully drifts off to sleep.
Great work, guys. Great. Hey Rays, written by Tasmin Jahan. Hugh, middle-aged, is seated in his boss's office. His boss, Pia, also middle-aged, looks up with a surprised expression.
Haven't we finished already? I thought I'd said what you wanted to hear.
Your salary proposal is a fucking joke. We talked about a 20% raise.
Hugh, I have a very busy schedule. We are done here.
We are not done here. Because the shit is about to hit the fan. I reject your proposal.
It's a decent and fair offer. That 5% raise is much better compared to any other company within the industry, so take it or leave it.
Bullshit. Your head Of the whole regional office? You can do better than that.
I have a meeting to get to, so if you'll excuse me.
Don't ridicule us. Given that we've worked much longer hours compared to the other departments, we deserve a bigger raise.
Duly noted. You may go now.
We put our lives on hold for this company. As head of my department, who has been tirelessly crunching the numbers for our shareholders and the potential investors, I made certain that everyone in this department met those last 5 deadlines without fail. So where's the recognition for that?
We are grateful to everyone for meeting all those deadlines, but that does not necessarily warrant a bigger pay raise.
Why not?
Well, unfortunately, there has been a postponement for the new electric car. Consumer demand is not as high as anticipated, and the unveiling of the new model did not attract as much interest as we'd thought. So we have to look at the entire model again and see where we can make improvements. So as a consequence, the production schedule has been put back until further notice.
Whatever. I demand transparency from the company because, as you know, without us, the whole infrastructure collapses.
I will not take orders from you.
Funny how things change, don't they?
I don't know what you mean.
Such fond memories. I'm sure you do.
Please return to your desk without delay, as I know you have a lot to do.
I see you've bought a new car. Electric, obviously. When did you receive your bonus then?
That's none of your business.
I parked my car next to yours so that I could get a closer look. That bonus must have been a big one. I just hope your car doesn't get damaged in any way. It is quite a tight spot.
Are you threatening me? That's so childish and officially bordering on gross misconduct.
That's just an observation. I suspect the retail value of your new car is well over $80,000. When are we going to have the same privilege then?
Please, remove your bruised ego from my office and get back to work.
Correction, I thought you were the one with the bruised ego since...
I will not tolerate this kind of rude and selfish talk.
Fine. Screw all of the deadlines then. I will tell head office that you instructed us to do this.
Oh, do you want to pull on my pigtails while you're at it?
I'm dead serious about this.
If you consciously choose to ignore any deadline, you will be in breach of your contractual obligations. Head office will fire your sorry ass.
Try me.
Ugh. Hugh, what is this really about?
Dirt and greed at the top. Your face is smothered in this filth. I can barely recognize the real Pia Culbertson. Perhaps you should take a long, hard look in the mirror and see what the corporate world has done to you. After that, I'm happy to provide the spit and polish to help cleanse your bruised ego.
That's the nicest thing you've said to me today. Now, get out.
My fingers are just itching to call head office.
No! I've had enough of this aggressive and disrespectful behavior. I'm going to call security.
I just need you to confirm that 20% raise and I'll leave you in peace.
I'm not the one who makes the final decision. I cannot override head office.
Just do it.
Oh, you are getting on my fucking nerves, Hugh.
Very well then. Before I call head office and screw you over,
Can you just stop it? Stop it.
Allow me to share the bigger picture with you. Your staff members have families. They have bills to pay. Some are struggling more than others. Some have 2 or more jobs just so that they can make ends meet.
We all have bills to pay. You just need to learn how to live within your own means. It's not that difficult.
Pia, you have one last chance to do the right thing. Pick up the phone and make the call.
Okay. I will pass on your comments to head office. I will email them right now, and I'll get back to you. Satisfied?
Who said anything about a fucking email? I ask you to call head office. Now.
Bloodshot eyes are very unattractive when putting forward any kind of negotiation. Have you been drinking again? More sleepless nights? Are you stressed with life in general? Oh, do you want the company to pay for some counseling sessions?
Would you rather I have blood on my hands?
I never said that.
You're pushing me too far.
There is no cliff edge. You're just making it worse by not listening to me.
Perhaps you need those counseling sessions more than I do.
I could actually do with a cup of coffee. As you're going to be a while, can you get me one?
No, I will not get you a fucking coffee.
No. How about some iced coffee then? I was going to ask you to have one as well so you could calm your inflamed egotistical nerves and get back to reality.
Just remember that I gave you plenty of warning.
You have no right to treat me like this.
Oh, really?
Ever since...
Shut the fuck up. It's my turn to talk to head office now, and soon you'll be clearing your desk.
What the hell are you doing?
Hello? Payroll, please. It's urgent. I'm calling on behalf of Pia Culvertson's department. The department code is... you've got it? Good. She's made a horrendous mistake.
For the love of God, hang up.
Yes, I'll hold.
How dare you take over like this when...
Hello? Yes, I urgently need to speak to someone in authority about a pay offer put forward by Pia Culvertson. It was authorized by head office half an hour ago. Basically, it's unacceptable and insulting. My name is Hugh Phillips.
I can't believe this is happening to me.
Oh, let me give you the backstory to this intriguing situation. It was December 18th.
No.
The office party was getting louder and busier by the minute.
What?
I know. Last year's Christmas party was a blast, right?
They don't need to hear this.
The wonderfully kind and delightful Pia Culvertson agreed to a 20% pay raise for her department last year, and I was just wondering why that hasn't been implemented yet. She agreed to it just after the Christmas party.
What the fuck?
And it is all her fault. Even though I said no, she made a pass at me and started running her pretty little fingers around my back.
Oh.
And then, unexpectedly, down to my groin area.
Oh, God. Hugh, we promised each other we would never talk about that. It was just a stupid, drunken mistake.
You assumed I did. I promised you nothing. You instigated everything.
You took advantage of me.
Well, correction. You took advantage of me. Well, I'm happy to go into more detail.
Fine, fine, fine. Just hang up the phone. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Pardon me. Are you absolutely sure about that?
You have my word. I'll get it done.
So the moment I leave your office, you will definitely finalize the 20% raise for everyone.
Yes, yes, I just told you, didn't I?
Oh, so sorry. This line is not very good. I'll have to call you back. So, I'll give you 24 hours before I start ranting in detail on all social media sites about how you lured me to that hotel room and then had passionate sex with me after the office Christmas party. I can't wait to tell everyone that while your poor husband was stuck in Japan during his business trip, you were stuck inside of me. I'm going to set the timer on my watch. I'll make it 9:34 a.m. So your 24 hours starts right now.
You fucking liar. That night you wanted to be with me too. Admit it. How could you stoop so low?
Why, Pia, on December 18th, I didn't go down as low as you did. It was phenomenal. Thank you for the fond memories. And besides, I'm the bigger person here, as I've just given you 24 hours to save your dirty and greedy career. I hope you have a lovely drive home. Ciao.
Well done, guys. Well done, well done. Oh my god. Oh my god. Susan and Paul. Oh my god.
Bonador enters the graveyard, looking distraught. She approaches Suda's grave, falls to her knees, and weeps. Lights up on Bonador, who slowly opens her eyes and calls out to the spirit world.
Oh, spirits of the great beyond, I call out to you in the name of the great and powerful ancestors who have come before me. I seek guidance and communion with the spirit of my beloved Suda, who has passed beyond the veil of this mortal coil.
Bonidor?
Oh, my life. How I miss you so, Suda. I long to be with you again, in this world, or the next, my darling. Is it too much to ask, dear gods, to be reunited with my beloved?
Suda emerges from the grave, looking radiant and beautiful.
Bonidor, my darling, I have been waiting for you.
But how? I thought you were gone from this world forever.
I am, Bonidor, but for this one precious moment, the gods have granted me the chance to be with you again. Come, my love, let us make the most of this fleeting moment.
Bonidor takes Suda's hand and they two embrace. They begin to kiss wildly, tearing at each other's clothes. They moan and scream in pleasure as they make love over Suda's grave. Bonidor sits up and the two women embrace, their bodies entwined in passionate kiss. Their moans of pleasure fills the air as they make love on the grave. their bodies moving in a slowly sensual dance. The music swells, bringing it to a crescendo as the two women reach the pinnacle of their passion. For a moment, they are lost in their love, transported to a place beyond time and space.
Can't believe you're here with me again.
Yes, it's me, Benidor. I had to come back one more time to see you and reminisce about our past.
I still remember the day that we met at that seance. We were both seeking answers about the afterlife, and instead, we found each other.
Our fascination with the beauty of death is what first brought us together. Little did we know how much it would shape our lives.
Yes. Our shared interest in death and the spirit world was one of the things that brought us so close together. I still remember the first time we met at that gathering of spiritualists and mediums. You were so passionate about your beliefs, and I was instantly drawn to your energy and vitality.
And I was drawn to your wisdom and knowledge, Benidor. You taught me so much about the spirit world and how to communicate with the spirits who dwell there. I was always amazed by your abilities, and I was so grateful to have you by my side as I explored the mysteries of the afterlife.
Those are truly some of the
Those were
happiest.
truly some
Whoa.
of the happiest days of my life, Suda. But now that you're gone, I feel lost. I'm alone. I long to be with you again. In the spiritual world where you now reside.
I know, Benidor, and I wish that I could be with you in the flesh as well, but for now, I am happy to be here in spirit and to be able to communicate with you in this way.
Now, here we are. You've experienced the afterlife, and I'm left here feeling as if I'm dead inside.
I'm so sorry, Benidor. I never wanted to leave you. But I promise you, the afterlife is not something to fear. It's a peaceful and serene place, full of love and light.
I wish I could have the same as you, Suda. The thought of living my life without you is unbearable.
My dearest Benidor, why do you cry?
I can't bear to let you go. Our love slipping away.
My love, our love will never fade. It has been etched onto our hearts, intermingling forevermore. Remember, our physical forms may separate, but our souls will remain entwined.
Bernard Bonador nods, trying to find solace in Suda's words. She hesitantly reaches out to touch Suda's cheek, feeling the warmth radiant from her spectral form.
This is the last time, isn't it? Our final moment together.
Yes, my love. But let us not dwell on the inevitable. Instead, let us cherish this fleeting moment. One last tender embrace.
Bonador's eyes close, and she leans toward into Suda's once more. Their lips meet. An almost palpable energy flows between them. Both women smile, revealing the electric connection that has always been present between them.
Remember, my love, I will always be with you.
I will never forget you, Suda. You are etched in my heart and in my soul.
The two women hold each other close, their bodies glistening with sweat as they catch their breath. The music fades, and the music in the room is once again filled with a soft, methodical light. Suda begins to fade, her body's becoming transient until she's nothing more than a soft, glowing light. Bonador watches tears streaming down her face as her lover fades away.
I miss you so.
I know, but this is all the time we have left. Love is eternal, even beyond death.
Let's be together, Suda. Let's close the gap between life and death.
Life is precious.
Suda's ghost shakes her head, tears are streaming down her face.
Life is precious. Yet death brings reunions.
I'll join you, Suda. We'll be together again.
Bonador sits up, takes a deep breath, gripping her trembling hands together, and slowly kneels beside the pile of her and Suda's clothes. As tears stream down her face, she carefully picks up a knife that was hidden beneath Suda's dress.
We'll be together, my love. Always.
Benider, no!
Bernardo, without hesitation, takes the knife and presses that blade against her chest. She closes her eyes tightly, taking a deep breath, and plunges the knife into her heart. As blood flows from the wound, she falls onto the blade. For a brief moment, she let out a painful scream filled with grief and longing. The sound of echoes through the room before disappearing into silence.
Death is a threshold, a gateway to new beginnings.
Bonador collapses. Her blood is pooling around her. Suda's ghost comforts Bonador, but she is unconsolable.
Let me go with you. I would rather die than live without you.
I'm sorry, my darling, but I cannot take you with me into the afterlife. It is not my choice.
Bonador breathes her last breath.
No! I won't let you go. I'll bring you back.
Suda starts to chant, trying to summon Bonador's soul back into her body. The wind starts to blow, but Bonador's body stays the same, unchanging.
Um, um, um.
It's no use, Suda. My time has come.
No! I love you!
I love you too. But it's time for me to go.
I don't want you to go. Hold on. I'm losing you.
Always have me, my love, in your heart, in your memories. I'll always be with you.
Oh my God. Oh, what have you done? I will always love you. Yet this cannot be. Farewell, my love.
Suda lets go of Bonador. Her lifeless body is collapsing on top of Suda's grave. Suda watches as Bonador fades away, and she starts to cry again. As she cries, she fades away too until she is gone, back into her grave. Suda disappears back into the grave, leaving Bonador's body behind.
Wow. Wow.
Heavy.
Oh, I'm so mad at myself for that one little blunder I made. Oh, I thought it was a stage direction. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Jake and Lauren are having drinks at a table.
Imagine we're in Paris.
For our honeymoon?
If you like.
It'll be so romantic.
Say we're in a restaurant.
Maxime's.
Say it's time to pay for the meal.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm too extravagant. We'll find somewhere chic, but affordable.
Lauren, here's what I want to know. Am I allowed to ask for the bill?
Of course, darling. We'll be married. I won't insist on going Dutch anymore.
May I ask for the bill in French?
Oh, you love to show off.
It's appreciated in France.
Showing off?
Speaking French.
You have my permission.
Do you know the French word for the bill?
Educate me. You're clearly dying to.
L'addition.
I'm bound to forget.
May I spell it for you?
If you must.
L apostrophe. Promise me you won't bite my head off.
I spy a trap.
I'm only planning to spell the French word for bill. Is there any harm in that?
Probably.
I'll stop now if you want.
Go on.
A-D-D-I-T-I-O-N.
Addition?
You said it, not me.
You are a sneaky rat, Jake.
I've proven my point. A mathematical term is often necessary for basic communication.
What an elaborate scenario. How long did it take you to concoct it?
I calculate less than...
Penalty? You used a math word?
I was hoping you'd rescind the ban.
Never.
Not even when you're presented with irreducible factors?
There you go again.
Come on, sugar, budge a fraction of a percentage.
Jake, I adore you to pieces, but math is the most boring subject in the world.
Oh, that's harsh. In the matrix of harshness, that's definitely in the extreme quadrant.
Okay, I give up.
Honest?
I'll develop immunity.
You're bowing to the preponderance of algorithmic statistical data?
Oh, I must really be in love.
Problem solved.
Unfortunately.
You want to know the chemical formula for love?
Oh, as if you'll spare me.
Dopamine plus serotonin multiplied by oxytocin to the power of infinity.
Oh, sounds about right.
Would you like another drink?
Oh, at last, a normal sentence.
A double vodka, right? Minus the ice.
Yes, please, minus any more resistance from me.
I'll be back in a millisecond.
Jake heads for the bar. Harper enters carrying a glass. She collides with Jake, drenching him.
Yikes! Leaping lamentations.
Harper, what the hell are you doing here?
'Tis a public place in a free country.
You don't drink.
I didn't, till thou drovest me to it.
Don't blame me.
Cool it, I'm just messing with you. Thou art soaking in lemonade.
This is mighty suspicious.
'Tis an innocent liquid, it doth not stain.
The Bayesian probability of you randomly turning up here is close to 0.
What seemeth so unusual? A newly single woman walks into a bar.
Sounds like the start of a joke.
Nay, 'tis the end of a bad one. Verily, the weakest punchline ever.
In this situation, I guess the civilized thing is introductions.
Don't bother. I know who she is.
And thou art my replacement.
My fiancée, Lauren.
His next wife.
Thou hopest. I'm still his current one.
You agreed to sign the papers.
Did I? Our wretched breakup did traumatize me so. My mind's a total blank.
Don't pull that.
Relax, man. I'll sign. One of these years.
Jake, you said everything was settled.
And thou didst believe him? How sweet.
Ignore her, Lauren. She suffers from poetry.
Let's go, babe.
Oh, flee not on my account.
Oh, I'm not fleeing.
Good. Round one unto me.
This is actually quite sad. He dumped you, but you can't let go.
For thy information, I threw him out after I caught him cheating on me.
Once.
I only caught you once.
Our relationship had been going on for months by then.
Forsooth, he never confessed to such. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, my pleasure.
He's even more devious than I thought. Thou shouldst keep an eye on him.
Is this all the ammunition you've got? A desperate attempt to erode my trust?
She's feisty, Jake. Where didst thou meet her? Not in one of thy classes, I hope.
She's a travel agent.
Thou dost always book online.
We met on a dating app.
Pray be careful. Hast thou heard about thy dreaded Tinder swindler?
I use Bumble. I like to make the first move.
I prefer to make the last one.
What's your angle, Harper?
Not as acutely obtuse as thine.
I have no idea what you mean.
I did assume ye two met in real life and could scarce keep your hands off each other.
A fair summary.
Nay, this was no case of unbridled passion. 'Twas premeditated, at least on his part.
Bull.
Thou wert married to me, and thou deliberately wentest online in hot pursuit of women.
A woman. One singular woman.
To provide what he couldn't get at home.
Pray tell me thou fellest not for yon old line.
He only stayed with you so long out of pity.
I'm disappointed in thee, Jake. Couldst conjure up no more original excuse?
You are pathetic. Stalking your ex like a bunny boiling Glenn Close.
I'm a raw foodist. I disdain cooking.
Face it, Harper, I'll never go back to you.
Like that be what I'm after.
Why else are you here?
To warn thee, off Jake.
Oh, thanks, but a review from a jealous wife is apt to be biased.
Study but thy own experience.
I've had enough of this.
Thou must have noticed how he manipulateth situations with algebraic precision.
That sounds like what you're doing right now.
I do admit I'm as bad as him. I was his student. Did he tell you that?
No. Jake, is this true?
And irrelevant.
He seduced me.
We had a consensual adult relationship.
With a huge power imbalance.
Well, that's true of most couples.
But ask thyself, hath he ever done a number on thee, devised some convoluted spiel, twisting thee to get his nefarious way? Think. I'm striving to succor thee.
You're trying to suck me in?
Succor. Succor. I'm offering help.
Why?
I like thee. I share several of Jake's peculiar quirks, including his taste in women.
Okay, hands off.
Lauren, dost thou recall third grade arithmetic? What's 2 divided by 1?
2.
But not always the same 2 ye started with.
I'm confused.
Good. Such is the first step towards enlightenment and sexual fluidity.
A slow waltz starts to play. Harper holds out her hand to Lauren, who hesitates before tentatively accepting. The two women dance with Harper leading. Jake seethes. Harper kisses Lauren's hand. Jake exits. Harper continues her seduction. Lauren lets Harper lead her off stage.
Well, that's the last one. For the new people, now we usually just spend some time having a little bit of conversation about what we've just experienced. Often the conversation lasts 2 times as long as the performances. If you can stay, please stay. But if you have to drop off at any time, you can. Our first one was Change is Constant. Very good performance from Jonathan and Michelle.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Beautifully done. I agree.
And
Always good to watch you guys. Always.
thanks to Nicholas for coming in as narrator. I haven't been able to just sit back and watch for a while, so that was good. Good to do.
Yeah, great piece, Stephen. That was
Yeah, great piece, great acting. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I lost track of the pieces. Which one was that again?
Change is constant. About the couple at the beginning, mourning the loss of their daughter.
The daughter, yes. Okay.
It was so interesting wondering what exactly happened, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
I for mine like 3 times.
Yeah, great leading us in one direction, and then
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why is the husband so like, doesn't seem like he really cares that much? And I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
How many people thought that she was actually passed on?
Me, I totally did. At first, I was like, miscarriage, SIDS, not SIDS, college. All right, it's a little weird to grieve. And then it kept going. And I was like, okay, I don't know which parent to side with. I'm frustrated, but the two of you have fantastic chemistry. And I liked the touch of the husband eating. I thought it was chips at first. And I was like, such a jerk. It's dog treat. Oh, God, ew.
The dog treats. Yeah, that was fun.
Very good. Very good ending. Yes.
Yeah, we need a little relief.
Upper. Come back up again.
So how was the reaction to the line? Most families celebrate these moments.
Right.
That's sort of the definitive turn.
Yeah. That's the big hint that, oh, okay. What is it?
But also, I think it's equally difficult, is it not? For some. Because the grieving process is different for everyone.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, certainly it is a celebration of life. There's no doubt about that. But I think, depending on, I mean, with Misha, sorry, I didn't remember Misha's character's name. Sorry. Oh, Alison, there it is. Sorry. Yeah, and Alison, she was just taking her time, just going through the motions, thinking about possibly what happened that day. And then obviously reading that beautiful, was it a card? Was it a letter?
Yes.
Read. Yeah. And it was just so poignant. It was so lovely. And you kind of let it wash over you. And then obviously Carl is munching on those, say nuts? Or treats?
Dog treats.
Okay, he's
Dog
so
treats.
And it's you know, I think it's, yeah, it was different for him. The grieving process, as you could see, was completely different for him.
I enjoyed talking to Jonathan about, because I don't have any kids, asking him, you know, where he was coming from. He has a daughter of 19, so that I got a lot of interesting input coming from him. So, whereas maybe the way I was reacting to it, I actually could see my mother and had a background of my mom being upset with me wanting to move, even just from Orange County to Santa Barbara County, or to when I was in LA County, where I grew up, to Orange County. And so she kind of tried to push it down, and then it exploded. And that was probably because my father was dying of cancer. And so that I needed to hear from Jonathan what it was like to watch his wife go through that kind of loss, which was not a death, but it was a death for her. And because I had already seen that with my mom, and we had the great talks. My mom and I had the best talks in the world, and it went on for a couple hours. And as she got older and unable to drive down here so much, we just spent a lot of time on the phone. And she came down here mostly for theater and for concerts. And so I would just say that Jonathan helped me catch some of the more vital signs and just a spark. And then I got to tell him about my background. And so it was, and then every performance was different. I mean, we read through it a few times the one time we got together, and then it just felt like it was going to be different until we slid right into place. I thought it was different every time. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, it was definitely. It has a, it's such a honest piece, and it's so like naturalistic, but it's also, it's the challenge is like to craft it, because we do have to craft things as artists, no matter how autobiographical a piece is. But a lot of things definitely were true, and I think it can be a challenge, I think when you're to let go and to let somebody fly on their own. And I think maybe it is a male thing, I don't know, to Tanya Oberon, it's like, I want the changeling boy to be my henchman, and it's like, no, I want to keep him with me forever and ever. And there can definitely be a dynamic with that. But what's lovely about this play is that they do love each other, and one hopes they're going to be okay. I feel like that's what the piece said, is that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
I love the way it went from, we're on Michelle's side, Jika's thinking that, oh, your daughter passed away, and Jonathan's not reacting, till you realize, oh, they just went to college. Then you're with Jonathan and thinking, Michelle's overdoing it. Mom's too big, going too big.
Right.
And you switch side, and it was well done. And again, a great ending.
Thank you.
It's the smiles at the end and getting together.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
And it was my favorite part was my daughter went off. She actually, it's kind of funny. She went to get her first apartment for the first time.
Oh.
And I was shopping with her, and I said, do you like peanut butter crackers? And she's like, yeah, I do. I love them. Why don't you get the big bin? And she's like, okay. I said, and why don't you give your dad a giant scoop of them for a reading that he's doing? And well, thank you for that gift.
I have to say, your character was such a nice husband. Man, it was very sweet, understanding, just allowed her to have her moment. It was a great character. Yeah. So way to go, Stephen. Write it nice.
Yeah.
Yes, well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And great acting, both of you.
I want to see you together.
Loved your acting.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. It's always a pleasure to share a screen with Jonathan.
Likewise.
And always a pleasure to be in Stephen's play. So thank you.
It was my first one. Yay. I want to do more.
Well, you have one coming up.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for this. It was fun. It was a nice time.
So our second one was the ghost who scared himself.
Oh, that was so sweet. It was so funny.
Aww.
A ghost who's afraid of his own shadow.
Is Haley still here?
Huh?
Is Haley still here?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, because her voice was incredible. I was going to ask her. I wanted
I
to.
was gonna say, yeah. Where did you learn to do that? Was my question for her because it was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
It was. Yeah, everybody was really great in that my show. It was a way that I envisioned the characters to be, and even more better. Even better. It's fun. I love the little screen background things you did, Mark. Again, thank you so much for Mark.
Yes,
for
thank
that
you,
with
Mark.
with the backgrounds and the effects. That was awesome.
Sure, my pleasure.
Was there any thought of bringing the ghost back after the parents left and having the daughter kind of interact with the ghost again?
I thought of going off and and doing. I was trying to think of like what to do, but it can only fit so much in a 10-minute play. I might make a another of this, like another 10-minute one of this, like a sequel, and more stuff to it. Because I also kind of want to introduce like his parents, because it did mention it then. So I wonder if he has parents. So like want to introduce like his mom or his dad or something, and like
That's
why
me.
they put him in the ghost school, and what their
I
expectations are
love
of
that.
him.
Ghost
Yeah.
school.
Maybe
Oh my god.
yeah, I think a second one could be like about the ghost perspectives instead of just little girls. So
Yeah, I was going to suggest you might want to flip the mirror and actually have the ghost side real and Daisy be the one that's haunting him.
that would be funny too. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something for me to consider. Yeah.
And-
Yeah, because I did want to make it where where like it's a little bit of twists of the ghost scaring the girl and the girl's all scared. But in this case, she was at first, but then she realized that she didn't have to be scared of the ghost
Right.
because she found her own strength.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying. So you could always find your own strength in whatever trials you have. That's what I was trying to bring out about.
And Mark, you did a very good job of playing both.
Oh, he was so good. That moustache. I was like, what is that thing on your face? It's huge.
That was
huge.
awesome.
It's funny because I told Maggie right when we were just going to rehearse that when I saw the part originally that the father plays this scary person also, I thought of the stage version of Peter Pan that I saw when I was a kid, but the actor that plays Captain Hook also plays the father once they're back home.
Oh, wow.
So I was kind of thinking of that. So I thought, okay, how can I make myself look a little different? So I got the mustache and the hat.
It was
fun.
hilarious.
It was fun.
Yeah.
The only thing
I
I
put mine
can't
on
do.
too.
Yeah. The only thing I can't do
As well,
is
I didn't pick up on that. I feel kind of bad that I didn't pick up on it so quickly because I liked the stage production a lot.
Yeah. And they did the same thing in Alice in Wonderland, right? No, not Alice in Wonderland. Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Very good.
The only thing I couldn't do was the Cyril Richard accent, which I love. It's just so, when you hear that voice.
It's fine. You did great with whatever you
Useless
did.
trivia. Mary Martin and Sarah Richard have the same birthday.
Is that right?
So I run the old broadcast on that birthday.
That's great.
But Boris Karloff did Hook opposite Jean Arthur on stage for another different musical.
Yeah, I think Bernstein.
Imagine Boris Karloff in a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well done to the actors. You were great in that piece. Very well done.
Awesome. Yep.
Great too.
Cute.
So let's see, we did some switching around, but I think third one was pay raise.
Did we go first? We did.
Pay raise was third.
Yes, we did. Oh, we did. We did.
Yeah.
Yes, well done, Susan. Well done, Paul. That was good work. And some of the, I was saying to Susan and Paul, this was a really difficult piece to write. because some of the language, obviously, I personally don't use the F word. It's just my characters, and some of the content. And I just thought, should I go that far? And I thought, oh, forget it. It's making me feel so uncomfortable. I'm just going to write it. And I did. I almost put it to one side, and I thought, no, forget it, because I have to write so many X plays. This is play 43 of 365. And I thought, once I've done it, I've done it. That's it. I've done it. So there you go. And Susan was amazing. Paul was amazing. And as I was listening, I felt really uncomfortable, but I was on the edge of my seat. And I was saying to Paul, there was a moment where I was thinking to myself, even though I wrote this, he is saying all these horrible things to her. How could he say stuff like that to someone? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What we've been through.
Yeah.
We had some moments there.
I know.
I was drunk, but
and all of that, and he shared it with a stranger, and the way malicious, tactician. And I just thought, I really hope I never meet anyone like that ever in my life.
But it has to do with the character that he's dealing with. To me, both characters were kind of at the same level in administration as being, kind of conniving and backstabbing, that both of them were kind of taking it off of each other.
yeah, that's what we were wondering, if everybody would have more sympathy for me. And I'm pretty recalcitrant. I'm pretty angry and mean in the beginning. So, or did you have more sympathy for me at the end when you find out what happened? Or, we should pay people more, right? I mean, there is greed at the top. It was an interesting premise. It was very fascinating.
For me, it was against your character, Susan's character in the beginning, because it's like, she's not going to listen. She just wants him out of the office. I'm not going to pay any attention. And then Paul's character is like, okay, you want to play that way? This is how we're going to play it. To me, it was like they both wanted something and they were willing to do whatever it took to get what they wanted.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it maybe played best if you didn't think about it as a negotiation over pay. This is more about the underlying story about their relationships and who was, cold to whom, and they're negotiating about that. In which case, Tasman, you wouldn't be cringing about the cursing words because they wouldn't be delivered as vehement attacks. They would be delivered like pillow talk.
Oh.
Say, you bitch, So sometimes when the word carries a threat, you don't have to deliver the threat with it. It's like when you say that, smile. The old Virginian.
But I do have a question on one of Paul's line where he tells Susan's character, you were stuck inside of me. It would just seem to me that she was probably stuck inside of him.
I thought
funny
that was
thing is, Paul raised that with me.
You know where I'm going to go. By the way, Susan, your dog is very cute. Could I see it?
Paul did raise that with me, and by the time I'd responded, we'd already started. But Paul had already raised that with me. So
Okay.
you are.
So I wasn't the only one, but that's immediately where my mind went. It's a thing.
Yeah. So
I was
it
going
been the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to actually, now let's see. I think we rewrote it, but it was like too late to put it in. Let me see.
Yeah.
Was it going to be that?
Already
Was he going to
started.
say the rewrite say that I was stuck inside of you?
I can't wait to tell everyone. Let's see. I can't wait to tell everyone that while your poor husband was stuck in Japan, during his business trip, I was stuck inside of you.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was supposed to
That's
be.
why
But then I
we
was
were-
like,
I know,
That's why
I
we were
know.
going to
It's
read.
just
the other way is like,
so
maybe they were using toys. Who knows? Like your mind goes to like, places.
Actually,
Well, they drive
actually,
on the other side of the road in England.
But let's put it this way: it was one of those difficult lies. Let's put it that way.
actually, for a moment,
Something like that. But not.
for a moment, I actually wondered if the roles had been swapped, like as far as like the gender casting.
Oh
Because
God, I'm not that clever.
Because it could go
No,
the
it was
other way.
originally, it was
Yeah,
kind of a tricky line to begin with because
Right.
it was, we had, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Maybe one of the two parties had
We have to
transitioned
keep
over
talking.
Christmas.
So,
What a Christmas party that was, December 18th. God.
I'm embarrassed already.
so Tasman,
So embarrassing.
in
Yes.
England, when you get a raise, is it a rise?
It's a pay rise in England. Yes,
Really?
yes, that question came up, and we were talking about it.
You
and
get
I
a
thought
rise in America, it's something
the-
different
the-
altogether.
Yeah, that's
majority
the
of my
terminology is
audience
different.
is American, so I did change it because the actual title is pay rise. And I apologize to Paul again because Piers. Oh, this is the other thing. I learned from my actors that it is actually peer, but we in Britland say pyre.
Higher
Well-
for like a pier, like the dock, like near the water.
No, my name Pia.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, right. I was like,
Oh, the other thing,
fish
my
on the
character is Hugh, and I think in America we commonly spell Hugh H-U-G-H.
or H-U-E.
I think that's the Welsh spelling
That's
of it.
the Welsh spelling. you see.
H-U-W is the Welsh spelling.
When I was writing it, I thought, okay, I've got Pia or Pia. Oh, I just need a name that's not too long because it was on the date that I was writing it. And then I thought, I'm going to go with Hugh, but H-U-W.
And I thought that was the abbreviation for his department, like human resources.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, it's close to what would be a union label here in America.
I love it. No,
Pia is for the union label.
it is actually H-U-W is the Welsh spelling of you.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's what I was getting at.
That's what's great about this international group. We learn.
That's right.
Well, there was another British thing that I noticed.
International and educational.
I
When you
see
said
Rex nodding occasionally too. We're all so different, but we're all the same. Yes.
That's right.
The
Sorry,
integration.
someone was saying something there.
Oh, I was just saying, like when the script said head office, then I knew it was that was British thing to me as well, because if you ever seen the British Office, that's what they say, head office, but we don't say that here.
Yeah,
It's more
HR.
like HR or corporate or something, but head office is not really a term.
Headquarters, we say sometimes.
Yeah, what I like about
It would be the home office
The
here.
home office.
Yeah, no, we don't
Head
say home
office.
office.
Head office has a,
we know,
a-
we're
a better
actors.
reference to December 18th.
But the home office here deals with immigration.
Yes, you'd be
And
like
Homeland
the
Security.
government, yeah.
Tasman's teaching us to speak proper English.
Yes, man. Thank you.
Learning us to speak proper English.
I will say, coming from
Proper
an
English.
Italian-
I kept asking myself, is this Tasman?
I am so sorry, but like I say, it made me feel really uncomfortable because as the characters were developing, I thought, what is he really going to say to her to make this happen? And he was making it super sensitive, super personal. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write this, but I'm never going to do it again.
Okay, yep.
I loved
Oh,
it.
We know Tasman. We know Tasman.
Yeah,
And
so
I
there's a sequel
actually-
in the works.
I love the balance of power too, what everyone was talking about, because in a lot of plays you don't see that. You see one side, or you see someone trying to regain power for a moment, and it maybe goes back and forth. But this was almost like 50-50. So you don't
Right.
see that very often where both characters have the same amount of power. And what a testament to the actors that the playwright just said she was on the edge of her seat watching her own play.
As a sidebar, coming from an Italian heritage, I do find very insulting the prejudice that is in the language of the English, because they use the Latin pronunciation for their vowels, but they intentionally go out of their way to not pronounce in the normal English idiom pasta, drama. They always say pasta, jamma. It's like an intentional insult, and it is totally un-English in speaking. So I think all of those people should be sent back to their little.
Duly noted, John. Duly noted.
They read their primer while I read my primer.
And in New Zealand, we say pasta and we say pear, and we tend to say you get a raise, but you have a pay rise. So we're a bit of both.
Wow.
But if you don't get your rise, you'll peer in their pasta.
Well, in this play, they were getting a different kind of rise.
Never again.
We should have done the X-rated version, Jasmine.
No, the original, yeah. No,
Go ahead.
We're all here.
As opposed to the G-rated version.
That wasn't the X-rated version?
Because
I'm like,
No, we
Of course,
we keep that for after midnight.
in America, the job would be the same, connotation, but.
Right, it's all right. You're among friends.
LAPR after midnight.
Right.
Yeah, there's
What time zone?
keyword. He's talking about.
ooh, what time zone? Yeah.
Yeah, we've learned so much about Tasman tonight.
Yeah, please don't remember this for next month. All right?
That's your alternate identity is the Tasmanian devil. There you go.
Oh, the Tasmanian devil.
Oh.
Thank you. But my actors were great. Putting the writing aside, my actors were great. Thank you so much. Always an honor to work with you. Thank you.
Always love your scripts, Jasmine.
We'll move on now to 2 divided by 1 from Rex McGregor.
I'm not a fan of maths, but that was good. All those mathematical terms. Did it for the script. It was very good.
Yes, so.
Did Melissa, I guess?
Melissa's here.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, you did very well, and I like Harper coming into it as well. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought, okay, they're on a date, it's not going to work out. Maybe it's going to be a mathematical equation. Then our relationship equals 0. And I liked how Harper came into it. So well done.
So, Rex, was this one of those where you were given the parameters to write for?
Yeah, so I was given 3 specific actors, and I was given some prompts like it had to include a mathematical formula.
Oh.
So that's what kicked that off. And there were several other prompts. But also it had to be not a 10-minute play so much as the first scene of a play. So I did afterwards add 2 more scenes. So at some stage in the future, we'll present scene 2 and scene 3 of the full play, which is called New Partners.
Okay.
Which is a clue.
Oh, okay.
There's a clue in there.
Is this from the playground?
That's right, yes. Playground Experiment in New York. Stephen was there last month, weren't you? Yes. Well, you presented your play. They did a good job, Stephen. Did you get to see it?
I have not been able to see it yet. They sent the link to an email address that that Gmail won't let me get into, and yeah, so I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So what they do is they give 5 prompts and specific actors that you have to write for, and you're given about a week to write the play. So it's a lot of fun and really challenging.
And for me, what I found, I thought it would be much more challenging, because I ended up having to write this before I went away on vacation, and they wanted it by the 15th, and I wrote it like on the 11th or the 12th, and I wrote it in that one night and to send it out, make sure they had it. But the thing is, like Rex is saying, it's not a 10-minute play, it's the first 10 pages of a play. And so if you let that go, they give you the 5 prompts, they give you enough links to the actors so you get an idea of who the actors are and what their characters might be. It was so much easier to write it because you don't have to provide all the answers. You don't have to provide an ending. All you have to do is suggest something, and it's completely open to be interpreted with those 5 prompts. And there's, you know, like one of the prompts was there's a unusual noise that would not occur in this environment. So I created something, but I didn't have to explain what it was, and I didn't have to bring up what it ended up being. And it was just to be, you know, to be completely open like that. It ended up being an easy assignment. It was easy to write it because I'm not proposing to write more of it.
Well, but this worked out really well, Rex. I mean, even just as a 10-minute play.
Yeah.
But I think probably, I mean, I think most of the audience would agree. We want to know what happened to Harper and Melissa's character.
Well, it's very clever, and it has a really a dark undertone with being, you know, obviously, you know, a sexual undertone. You know, not just an undertone. It's something is happening, something is brewing, and in the audience, we really, really want to know what's going on, and using the poetic language ups the humor, the uniqueness of the play. What was that part of the prompt?
No, the language, that wasn't part of the prompt.
Huh.
That was just to give Harper some sort of edge to make her distinct and interesting.
That was a really great idea, and it made it more cunning. And I like the build, and I look forward to hearing the rest.
Yeah, one of the inspirations for this play was a Noel Coward play called Design for Living. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it deals with like musical chairs and relationships where people switch partners.
Huh. Yeah, I thought them dancing off was kind of a nice ending, and then the guy just kind of gets left behind.
I know.
For Jake.
He will return.
They seemed so good together at the beginning. You know, it was so
Yeah.
sweet, and the acting was so good, and I was like, "What's going on? What?" Yeah. Really good.
I
We
could
want
see
more,
where
Rex. We want more.
Yes.
I could see where you might have you know, subtitles for the following scenes as 3 divided by 1 equals 4 divided by 1, and of course I thought right away 2 divided by 1 equals divorce, but and you know, and Design for Living has one of my favorite lines in it, where the 2 suitors are complaining because they don't get recognition, they don't have any success in what they're doing, and the girl points out, the problem with you guys is you spend 1 day a week working on something and the rest of the week patting yourself on the back about it. And that, you know, that I think applies to too many of us.
Yeah, so thank you, actors, for bringing those characters to life. So we will hope to present the other scenes.
Really well
Corey is very much in demand. I hear next month Robert has collared him, and the following month Stephen has collared him. So I'm booking Corey for November.
Well, that's okay because I'm already booked for November. I've got my cast.
Isn't Thanksgiving the days, one of those months where you kind of demur about whether you're going to actually do a performance or not?
Oh, let's see.
I think it's the Sunday before.
Is it the
Yeah.
Is the
24th?
the fourth Sunday.
24th. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know last year I couldn't proceed with my Sherlock stuff because half the cast weren't available during that month. And then, you know, I get the free Wi-Fi through the library, but they discontinued that program middle of December. So I've been offline till the last month.
And usually for this group, the only month we haven't performed is December. Usually,
Yeah.
we don't
Right.
have this big issue, but well, that's something we'll be talking about later, deciding to see who can participate or not. Because our next one is September the 22nd.
September 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay. September 22nd, guys.
So,
And I'm
so
looking
fun.
at you
Great to see
too.
you all.
but we do have one more. It was Suda.
Oh, sorry.
And
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes.
a new writer named Bunny, who couldn't make it tonight, I guess, but she'll see the video.
See the recording. Yeah.
So Leslie, I remember the original script was a 3-page script, and then she expanded on it.
Yeah, she had put out a 3-page script and I looked at it and I said, you know that you have time to write more and you're entitled to write more. And we'd love to see some more. We can kind of flesh out more of the story. And within maybe 24 to 48 hours, she sent me a 10-page script instead of a 3-page script. And that's what you saw tonight.
Now, were you or Amanda able to work with Bunny at any point or talk to her or no?
No, I've only been messaging with her. I haven't including today, but I guess she wasn't able to show up. But I haven't met her or seen her other than just messaging.
Okay. All right.
So you guys pretty much directed yourselves.
Well, I think Leslie was set to be director, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was
Gotcha.
Bunny was saying that she didn't have, when she put it out to the group, she said that she didn't have any directorial experience and she was looking for actors as well as a director. And I offered to do both.
Yeah, nice.
Lovely.
Stephen, have you been, has anyone here been hit yet by submissions from AI for the things you're doing?
No.
You know, if you don't see the author and you don't hear the author and they don't want to direct, it does raise the question of if it can be a machine. If it sends you a 3-page script and you say, can you make this 10 pages? And, a day or two later, you get a 10-page script.
Well, I'm embarrassed to jump in then and admit to you guys, I had read, I had opinions on this one. 20 years ago, I read a short story that it wasn't this play, it was about 2 men, but I sat there crying because it was the same thing, beat for beat. He's dead, he's over, he died is the point. And it was really sad, and his partner dies on top of his grave. I'm sitting here bawling my eyes out, and this brought back those memories, and I'm sitting there going, why is this in dialogue? Why am I watching it? Why can't I walk away? This is really unfair. And then suddenly I'm discovering, it's probably AI. Well, fuck, I fell for it because I've read stories like this with these themes.
Well, that could be interesting, but it seems to me my correspondence, at least through Facebook, seems from a person.
I don't think
I'm
AI
not saying
types
it
it
is AI, but
groups.
it could easily be, somebody doing it that way could use those same steps.
I heard people doing AI as scammers type thing. Like, will like try message you a scammer in the same link. But so I don't know if she got sent. I don't know if you guys got sent a link by her or something. But that would link to her being an AI or something, in my opinion. Yeah. If you were like sent a
It
link
would
to click
be
on or
nice
something.
to see her because all playwrights are present when
I
their pieces are performed.
I apologize to the author who will be listening to this, that we are implying that you have a higher intelligence than a human being, and therefore we thought you wouldn't be real.
I think it's a human being. I have a Facebook page, and it seems pretty real.
I don't know either, but if she has a Facebook page, she's been contacting other people, she probably is real. Let's just not assume AI right now because she's probably gonna watch this. So her work, great job with your work.
Yeah, I mean,
if
that
she
was
watches
AI,
Leslie,
That would be
looking through this stage, you'd have to be really, it would take a lot to have this stage, but I think it would be well done. I would just not go see it because I'd sit there crying. I didn't cry today, obviously, but it just.
I have yet to see anything visual or written by AI that doesn't have flaws in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if this is AI, it was awfully emotional for AI. It seems like it doesn't really tally up. I don't think.
That's a very interesting thought, though. That could be AI. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's AI. Although, Stephen, I would say that same complaint could say you could just replace Hollywood for AI, and you think you get the same thing.
That's another conversation. Oh God, yeah.
I did appreciate the turn though too, like when it's like one is mourning and is distraught over the death of one, and the she comes back, the sort of ghost or the spectral visage of her, and she gets to sort of be very calm and this is for the best and everything's fine, and then the switch happens where she then takes her life, and I was a little worried that was going to be sort of I don't know, sort of a maybe inadvertently pro-suicide kind of thing, but I liked how the Suda was like, no, this is actually, we're not going to be able to be together by you killing yourself, but it was like too late. So I did like I thought that was navigated pretty well, because it could have been kind of like, I don't know. But
the acting was great. The acting was great.
Oh, the acting was, I really loved the commitment. And
wow.
I was going to say, both of you did so
that was
beautifully.
Super sensitive and
Terrific.
what a tricky scene to do. So well done. Kudos to you. And I loved Suda and how she was just trying to make that connection. And Leslie's character had already made that decision. I want to be with you, and she believed that was the only way to be with her.
And I was thinking that Suda was going to say why she was so upset about Bonador killing herself is because it's a suicide. It's not going to end up the way you want it to go. But that's what would be the difference.
Is that the reason? Did you just think that that's the reason, or was that mentioned?
I thought that would be mentioned by Suda.
Yeah, I was wondering if I missed anything, because I was assuming that the only reason why they couldn't get together on the other side was that it would be a mortal sin to commit suicide, so one would be going to hell while the other one isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't get that at all.
It wasn't
I just
specified.
didn't.
It wasn't specified in the play. So I think it's just that, as far as the play was concerned, it was just like, oh, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to choose the afterlife, as it were. We're not the same thing.
Right. No, I think it was Amanda. One of your last lines was, "It's not my choice," right? Or it's not my something like that.
Yeah, there were some sort of rules that were not explicit at all. So Leslie explained, I asked her when we read through the first time, and she said there are conditions. And I said, okay, whatever those may be, I just accept that and I go with that. Whatever. The conditions were not explained in any part of the script.
Right.
It's administrative. There's a lot of red tape and paperwork and dying.
Plus, if you're going to an afterlife and it's based on your belief, there's no indication that two people are having the same afterlife in their beliefs. So if we create our afterlife, there may not be room for the other in it, just because, you know, I argue that our reality is an illusion because we can't handle the bigger reality. So, you know, the assumption is that you'll be expanding into a wider reality. And to that end, I highly recommend the TV series The Good Place, especially the last episode, where they show the afterlife beyond the afterlife.
Yeah,
It
when
is
someone said
brilliant.
Red Tape, I thought they've been watching that one. That's my kid's favorite series.
But I mean, the idea of like The Good Place actually embodied what I was always saying, that beyond heaven, when, you know, people can't stay there forever because it's just not suitable. And so they free themselves entirely of all the tangibility, and they find themselves as part of the whole world again, that you actually connect more beyond life because you're no longer restricted to that narrow body that we have. And so, well, as I always describe it, what if, you know, we're just like smoke? You see the smoke very briefly when it congeals together, and then it dissipates, but the elements are all still there. They're just now mixed with everything else in the universe. But
interesting take. Yeah.
But, I would be curious to know what the author was feeling beyond this. So maybe it's like, you know, let's take another stab at this play and bring it back. See, you know, take another look. Maybe look at it from the other character's point of view.
It was interesting too, the fact that she's like playing on a spiritual world aspect, but she didn't directly say like what it is, like what kind of, like, is it Hindu, is it Christian, is it, you know, maybe she on purpose was avoiding that. I don't know, she could be atheist and writing this, I don't know, you know, so but that's very interesting. I would like to know all the aspects and her purpose and her idea of what the story was about. If she's listening to this, Bunny maybe could write in the comments or something about this and give us responses.
It is alluded to in the very beginning when they talk about how they met, right? It's almost like it was a covenant that they met each other at.
They were into spiritualism, and there's also a line on page 2 that says, "The gods have granted me the chance to be with you again." So I assumed it was some sort of polytheistic belief system, but I think it didn't really matter the mechanics and the details, as long as, like what Leslie said, the emotion is there. You know, at the end of the day, it's about grief and how to go on after.
As I say, you know, I like all my scripts always challenge our sense of reality. But what if everything in our human arrogance is backwards? That we're the spiritual world. That for some time we get pulled out of that bigger reality and thrown into this limbo between things until we can escape and get back to the original reality we came from. You know, so that we think we're the reality and the afterlife is something else, whereas we're the illusion. We're the
Matrix.
Yeah.
Or the, you know, opposite of the Matrix, because the Matrix, like, you know, it's like the bad thing is keeping you in this illusion. Right. But it's that no, the reason why we do movies and everything, we sense there's something beyond what we're dealing with here on the tangible world, and we don't know what it is, so we make up all these things about it, and we create a lot of confusion fighting over it. And it turns out, you know, what if it's all, we're looking through the mirror from the wrong side? Yeah.
I've heard Anthony Hopkins talk about, believes that this is all a dream. Everything is a dream.
Of course, it's all a dream. So the only question is, are you the dreamer or are you the dream? When you walk out the door, does everyone else disappear or do you disappear? You know, so I say, take charge, be the dreamer, control your dreams. So.
And then there's I think it's the theory of Jonathan, is that it's all been written by a 13-year-old boy, and everything that we experience is everything that he has written.
You're thinking of the end of Saint Elsewhere.
General,
And
I
turns
thought it was
out
General
that whole
Hospital.
series was being
Yeah.
seen through an autistic child's mind.
Or maybe it's
Or
the
again,
Truman
a
Show.
Hollywood executive, you know.
One of my favorite movies, The Truman Show. So maybe it's The Truman Show where it's
I
all
need to see that.
orchestrated like that.
Yeah.
I need to see that film. I've never seen it.
Oh, you must. You must. But I was gonna say that beyond all of that, the theme of this is universal. This grief, you know, the ending reminds me a little bit of Romeo and Juliet. You
Right.
know how sad, you know, to try to take your life to be with your beloved, and then it just doesn't work that way for whatever reason. But the universal feeling of grief. It actually, this piece reminded me of two separate situations where I've had friends pass away. Their loved one is just left behind, and one of them in particular posts just, I mean, she just posted yesterday or today about her wife, and the sadness and the hole that's left behind, and how it doesn't, none of it feels real. Her life is surreal now, and this piece was just a mirror of that for me in a lot of ways, of just this love that they had, this extraordinary love that they had, and then when one goes, you know, the hole that's left behind and the grief that the other one experiences, and that ripple effect of grief as well. All the people that feel the grief.
Yeah, that's so true. That ripple effect of grief. That's it. When you make these rash decisions, you just, you know, you never think it through. You think this is what I need, and you feel that if I do X, I will be a little bit closer to not feeling that grief, to not being that person again. Yeah, and I must say, the background image, that is, yeah, very powerful. Very
Spooky.
powerful.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah.
I was.
Did you choose that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
very
was.
powerful.
I was searching for a graveyard, and then I was specifying for a graveyard at night because there were so many graveyards. And then I happened to see like a hand, you know, and then I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I chose this hand because there were like skeletal hands and zombie hands and other kinds of hands, and I was just like, and I actually was telling Amanda, you know, so you needed to sit us like towards the side, and because if we sit like this,
Yeah,
it's
you
kind of
can't
like they're doing this behind our head or this behind our head.
Right.
So, but if you do this, if you just sit slightly off to the side, you can see the hand coming up.
Yeah, but you can't, Leslie, you can't do that with Zoom if you're doing a gallery view like I have now. And normally I would have had the two of you side by side, but I couldn't see your Amanda because she was out of the picture. You know, when you go into a gallery, it cuts it into a square and chops off the two sides.
Oh.
So you really have to stay in the center. So if you're going to, what you want to do then is shift the background image to one side or angle it.
It was fine for me. I mean, obviously we're on different devices probably, but no, it was very clear. And the moment you started, you know, the scene opened, and I saw the image, I thought, oh, that is very powerful. And then obviously
I thought maybe it was from Carrie, the movie Carrie.
Oh. It could be originally. I'm not really sure where the you know, we looked up, you know, who posted or how it was posted, but it didn't say anything about Carrie. But it could be for sure.
Now, I will thank the author for sharing with us. And as far as directing this, if all that action that's going on in the stage directions, if I were doing it on stage, I would see it as projections on the rear screen. Or, you know, actually, I would rear screen project it. I would project from behind the scrim so it doesn't throw light on the actors, and the actors don't throw shadows on it. But you could do it as moving images or still images done in kind of a time-lapse photography motion. But that would be like the kind of spirit between them would be on that screen.
Yeah. It might work
Yeah.
as a film type of thing. Yeah, like
Well,
what Ray's saying, maybe
potentially,
do a film.
but nowadays you could just put a PowerPoint on a computer and put it through a projection system on there,
Mhm.
and it's something when people were asking about doing my Sherlock as a play, and I'm saying, it's all these scenes and this action, but if I did it as a play, it would have to be where you'd see all these interim things shown on a rear screen. So
It'd be interesting to see Bunny's take on this after she views it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it'd be lovely to see you, but also to get your reactions to today's piece.
Yeah.
So well done for your first attempt with the group.
Right.
And if you can't contact us any other way, send it through the Dead Letter Office, and we'll have it resurrected.
I'll just send her a link through Facebook and we'll see if she's programmed to accept it.
There you
I'll be getting lots of hate mail. All right.
I'm sure you won't, John. I'm sure you won't.
So
I like those video backgrounds that were in one of them. The fire. I thought that was.
You're talking about the ghosts?
Oh, look!
Yeah,
look,
that's really
look,
cool.
look.
My computer's too old to do stuff like that.
Oh, really? I didn't know how to do it. This was the first time I've actually brought in a film or whatever they call it, a movie.
That really adds another dimension, doesn't it?
That was very cool when it did happen. Yeah, I remember.
How did you do it, Mark?
I found a video online. I just searched for flames and I found a video, and I was for one reason or another I was able to download it as an MP4 file, I think.
Yeah.
And
you upload it to your background.
And then in Zoom, you download the MP4 to your computer, then you upload it into Zoom as a what do they call it? Add video when you're going into your backgrounds.
Cool.
Well, the real trick would be to get yourself cleanly matted into that. So are you sitting in front of a green screen or a blue screen?
No.
Otherwise?
No, nothing special.
Because most of the heads disappear as they move around.
I'm thinking if this Zoom becomes more and more sophisticated, it's going to really be a viable theater platform.
Yes, Tasman?
Bye to Pia.
Sorry, I was saying bye to Susan. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Susan's
you're right, Paul.
I thought you were asking Paul not to say that, not to put that out in the universe.
Oh, no,
And we're losing Amanda.
Sorry, Paul.
And
Amanda's given up the ghost.
there's my graveyard from Hamlet.
Ah.
Close it because I'm taking a
It's that chilling feeling.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
I
I've got to
didn't
go.
mean to interrupt you.
I want to thank you.
Michelle.
I'm doing as well. Thank you for having
See
me.
you next month, Michelle.
There's another reading group that takes over my Zoom account so that they can do their group, and they come on at 8 o'clock, which is I guess 5 o'clock here.
Oh, really?
Oh, so they're coming on right now. So
Oh, they're about to come on.
having a page for them.
You're kicking us out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bye.
Yeah, I think they're West Coast time.
Bye, guys.
It was an
Great.
extraordinary
Ah,
session.
anyway, lovely to see you all. Have a wonderful
See you next
evening.
month.
afternoon,
Bye, everyone. Good night.
It was great seeing you, Tasman.
Everyone.
And you,
See you next time.
Come back to California, Tasman.
I'll see you next month. Or no, 2 months. 1 month, something.
By the way,
Yeah, take care, guys. I gotta go too.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah,
Great
thank
to
you.
see everybody.
ciao.